Republican Congresswoman Diane Black of Tennessee joins us from her home state to hear what her constituents have to tell us, are telling her. Well, tell us, what are your constituents saying about this fiscal cliff? Because as Dennis said, so many of us have fatigue about it.
Well, Tracy, I'm hearing it both from my individual constituents and my business owners that they are really very concerned about the spending problem in Washington, and that is not really being talked about. There's a lot of focus on the other side, but there is a real need to control our spending, because we know that we're spending $1 trillion more than what we're bringing in every year. We cannot continue down this path. Eventually, you'll go off the cliff. And we have got to resolve that by looking at those drivers of our debt, which are the entitlement programs, and we've got to talk about that.
Right, and we're not, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, because I think a really easy fix is just to raise the retirement age. Is that something on the table for the Republicans?
Well, we've put something on the table for Medicare, which is the really greatest driver of our debt right now. Of course, Social Security is also an issue that we're going to have to look at. We have $85 trillion worth of unfunded liabilities right now, and that's not even being talked about. The $16 trillion that we always hear, but there's $85 trillion in unfunded liabilities there. And we already put a plan on the table in our Path to Prosperity. It was a plan that did give seniors more choice, gave them more accessibility. Right. And was a premium support program, and that really would have helped to start to bring that cost curve and bend it.
But it hasn't, right? So what's it going to take to get this done? Because I think everyone just wants to, like, sit down to their holiday meal knowing that this is not something they're going to have to worry about the next day.
Well, I think that it is going to take seriousness to come to the table and be adults and talk about those really tough issues, and spending is the problem. When we hear the administration continue to talk about putting this tax on the small business owners, this is going to be 1 million small business owners who will be affected by this tax. About 700,000 jobs will be lost. The economy will start to shrink again rather than grow, and that's not really where we need to be.
But we got to come to the middle on this. So where is it that the Republican Party can give a little in order for us to not have compromise be a dirty word?
Well, let me just go back to what if we were to do what the president is asking us to do. Does anyone realize and think about what kind of revenue that's going to bring in? It funds 8.5 days of government. Where's the other 355 plus days that you've got to fund? And so this is all a panacea, just talking about this one thing that seems to get a lot of people very lathered up. We've got to get serious and talk about true balancing our budget.
We do.
This is not going to do it by just what the president says that he wants to do.
Because you know what? I think at this point, not only does the market need a deal, it needs a good one, not just a kick down the road. Congresswoman Diane Black, thank you for sharing your thoughts.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Auto sales